So I have been dating a black man for the past several years, and I thought it would be time for my dad to meet him. So I texted and asked him if he would meet, never responded. So finally, I was able to FaceTime him, and he said absolutely not. He got really upset, saying that he doesn't accept this. He wants nothing to do with meeting this man. And he just kept saying over and over again, no black people, no black people. The following day, I asked him again. I thought maybe he just needed some time to process things. And again, he got even angrier than he did the day before and told me, no black people, no black people. They're no good. I don't want you to do anything with him. Cut it off. Cut your losses. You can find somebody else. And he hung up the phone on me. There's going to be a point in time where I ultimately will have to choose between my parents and my life. And it's looking more like I'm going to have to cut everybody out of my life. I don't know what it is, but my parents, when I talk to them, they make me second guess everything that I do. When I held them at a distance, I was more confident. I was able to focus and just be happy. But every time they come back into my life, I feel like I've reverted back to being a 6-year-old with no direction in life. I feel lost. I'm second guessing everything that I've done in the past several years.
My traditional Indian dad called my sister yesterday and he told her that he's okay with her being a lesbian, which is just an assumption he made because she's 36 and unmarried. But to be honest, we were so proud of him. Like, this was a huge deal. And we don't have the heart to tell him that she's actually dating a black guy. So that'll be the end of dad. Like, I know white people are taking a break from racism or whatever, but brown people aren't.
And this is one of the reasons it's so hard to date as a black person, because you never know whose family secretly hates you or publicly hates you.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
Right, so in today's episode, you're going to be reacting to videos of Indian women who are brave enough to follow through with their love for black men and ended up being banished for the same reason. I was so surprised that in today's episode, somebody boldly confessed that her family would rather her sister be a lesbian than her sister being with a black man.
Guys, imagine that. You'd rather your daughter be a lesbian. Not that it's a bad thing, to each their own, right? But you'd rather your daughter be a lesbian so that you never ever have heirs, just so you'd avoid them dating a black man.
Anyway, guys, we don't want to talk a lot. Let's watch what is happening and then we come back and talk about it. My question is, for those of you, a lot of you who are watching today's episode, and hopefully some maybe Indian, would like to know, do you think this is still a very prevalent problem in the Indian community?
Do you feel like it is a prevalent problem in the Indian community? The question should be, will this situation ever get resolved?
Anyway, guys, let's watch
with the
and then
coming younger and coming generations.
We don't know. Let's watch and then we come back and talk about it. You can let us know your thoughts and opinion in the comment section. Also consider subscribing if it's your first time here. Let's watch.
Besides Kamala Harris, I don't know many other like black and Indian people.
I think there's a lot of racism within Indian culture against the black community.
Yeah.
But now people are getting empowered, saying, look, mom, if you want to be a part of my life, you're going to have to deal with this. And mom's like, oh my God, I don't want to lose my kid. Okay. Okay, let's go to E40 concert. You know, like, I will learn your culture.
When I came to the US, I was 17 in high school. And as I made friends, especially Indian girls, other Indian girls of my age, I realized that we all were given the same speech by our father, which was, we could not date black guys, we could not date Muslim guys, we could not date white dudes. And I remember, the abuse that I received from my father, physical abuse that I received from my father, when he found out that I was dating a Muslim guy. He immediately made me break up with the guy. But in that moment, after, basically beating me, he told me, at least it wasn't a black guy, because your beating would have been worse. Go to part 2.
When you date a black guy and you're disowned by your family. Stick around, I will start the story. I may not finish it in one go, but I'll start the story. So this happened when I was in Canada. I had recently migrated from India in my teenage years, and I had gone to undergrad and met somebody who was doing chemistry honors. I was doing biochemistry honors, and I mentioned that to say that because of the subject matters, we overlapped and we ran in some same circles, and then we started dating. Prior to this point, I was dating somebody else that my family didn't approve of. I gave up that relationship because of my family, because my family approval was important. By the time I met Garnett, I was like, no, I've got to do my own thing. I can't just go for family. I got to do my own thing. So when I met Garnett and we started talking about this, telling my family and all, I went back and forth, and then I finally said, no, I'm going to tell my family. And the reason I did this is because at that time, and even now, a lot of South Asian kids, especially women, girls, South Asian girls, will hide from their parents the life they want to actually lead. So if they're dating, going out, or doing whatever, a lot of times they don't have parental permission for that, and they will hide, and we would live dual lives, basically. I was tired of that. I wasn't doing anything wrong, so I just wanted to share. When I did share, I was given an ultimatum, and the ultimatum was, it's either the black man that I was dating, it's either you want to show everybody that is your person, or the family, who matters more to you. That was the ultimatum I was given.
So as a Guyanese West Indian woman, I actually just wanted to add my 2 cents on this, because growing up back home, my family was one of 2 Indian families in a predominant black village. And we were always taught to, respect our elders, regardless of the skin tone. You respect everyone around you. My best friends were black. We went to school with everyone who were black. And I don't think my grandpa even really knew why he did not want, you were allowed to be besties. His best friends were black. Our neighbors were black. When we kill our animals for Christmas time, we don't feed half the village. But he always used to preach, you never marry a black person. And I don't think we really truly knew why we felt that way. Obviously now looking back, slavery, because we were the lighter skinned slaves, the slaves that came from Africa were meant to feel that we were superior to them because of our skin tone. But a slave is a slave is a slave is a slave. And all of my aunts and uncles later went on to marry a black man or woman. And so all my cousins are, biracial or Dougla for the Guyanese people. That's what we called a biracial person. You're a Dougla. And so I don't think he fully knew why he was supposed to feel that way, but he did. And I mean, like I said, all of my cousins are mixed, except for me. My mom married a Guyanese Indian person. So, but I mean, even as a Guyanese Indian person, I'm 12% black. So the mixture happened, whether we liked it or not. But it was just interesting for me because I never felt like it was racially profiling back home. We break bread with them. We invite everyone over. We have parties. We sit down. We congregate with them. We go to their weddings. They come to our weddings. We were very much immersed in each other's cultures. And so it never felt like the North American version of racially profiling someone or racism. It never felt that way. But of course, it's obviously still a version of that to say that you can be best friends with them and, we can grow up our entire lives with them. But, you can't marry that person because they're black. I don't think it ever really had anything to do with, your skin tone. Because especially in Guyana, it's a Caribbean country. It's very hot. Everyone have some level of melatonin going on. I think we just have to thank slavery for that. Thank the white people for conditioning us and putting us to fight against each other, because even to this day, the black and the Indians are fighting and we don't know what the fuck we're fighting for. But it's just interesting, South American versus North America, how you look at things. Anyways, that's my 2 cents on it.
So this was a comment in my last video, and this, along with a few other comments, pointed out some of the issues that the Indian community has. And it's absolutely true. If you are a black American, if you're Guyanese, if you're Caribbean Indian, there is the potential that you face racism from Indians. Now here's where it gets really wild. Indians aren't just racist towards external groups. Indians are racist to themselves, right? And I don't mean the caste system, because I'm Christian. So story time. Now, before I tell you the story, a little bit of background information. So if you're not in the Indian diaspora, what you need to understand is India is kind of unofficially divided into a North India and a South India. Now, back in the days, and I think it's still there now, North Indians tended to look down on South Indians. And it was based on appearance. And they're going to tell you it's other reasons, but trust me, it's based on appearance. And the reason for that is North Indians are lighter skinned, have softer features. They tend to kind of fit more the white aesthetic. South Indians, darker skinned, broader noses, bigger lips. Okay, so we don't look the same. So North Indians used to have a tendency to look down on South Indians. So now story time. So this was about 25 years ago. I was chatting up some woman. She was obviously North Indian. And so we were having this conversation, lovely conversation. And during the conversation, she starts going into this South Indian rant, how South Indian guys are like this, how South Indian guys are like that, so on and so forth, right? Now, you have to understand, I'm kind of ambiguous, so people can't always tell what part of India I'm from. So I waited for her to finish what she was saying, and then I was like, you know I'm South Indian, right? Now, this is the part that blew me away. This woman pauses for a second, and then I kid you not, without missing a beat, looks me dead in the eye and says, well, but you don't look South Indian, and then just continues with the conversation. It was like, wow. Listen, skin whitening is a $9 billion industry around the world. It's centered mostly in Asia, Africa, and the Caribbean. It's us chasing this Eurocentric standard of beauty. And a lot of our racism is built on chasing that Eurocentric standard of beauty. It's the weirdest shit I've ever experienced. But anyway, yeah, I mean, listen, people in my community, you might get mad at me, but we have a lot of self-reflecting to do. I know the younger generations are way better, but, you know, there's still a bunch of issues there. All right, anyway, little look into the Indian world. Have a good one.
My traditional Indian dad called my sister yesterday, and he told her that he's okay with her being a lesbian, which is just an assumption he made because she's 36 and unmarried. But to be honest, we were so proud of him. Like, this was a huge deal. And we don't have the heart to tell him that she's actually dating a black guy. So that'll be the end of dad. Like, I know white people are taking a break from racism or whatever, but brown people aren't.
And this is one of the reasons it's so hard to date as a black person, because you never know whose family secretly hates you or publicly hates you. Like, you're thinking, hey, I just found a nice Indian girl, I'm thinking of marrying her. You know, our families are around the same skin color. And you're thinking there's no way they're going to be racist to black people because we're the exact same shade, but they are. Even if you're another Indian person marrying into an Indian family, they still might not like you because there's a lot of colorism in India. And it's such a challenge as a black person navigating the constant racism we face no matter where we go, no matter who we date. It's just absolutely exhausting. And it just doesn't really make any sense either. Like, you really don't like me because I'm dating your daughter and I'm one shade darker than her. Or even, like I said, we might even be the same skin color. So it's not even the skin color part, it's because I'm black. And one of the most important things to remember when you're marrying someone is you're not just marrying one person, you're marrying their whole family. Who's going to be walking her down the aisle? Her dad. Who's going to be at the baby shower? Her dad. Or let's say, for example, both of us have to go out of town and we need someone to take care of our kid and the daycares are closed, right? We're going to leave the kid at her father's house who hates black people. The kid is half Indian, half black. Am I going to leave my son or daughter at someone's house who hates black people? And then how's that going to make your wife feel when you won't let her dad be around your son or daughter? You're going to have problems with your dad. You're going to have problems with your wife. It's just going to be a whole issue. So in my opinion, you just cannot marry into a family like that and raise a child who's half black. And looking at her account, it looks like she's a comedian. So I don't know, how serious she was being when she said that statement. But my video is not really about her specifically. It's more about, black people dating in general. But anyway, I'm going to go. I'm on vacation right now. I'm riding this bike. So if you're wondering why I'm always moving, that's why.
Okay, as the CEO, managing director, final boss of South Asian women married to black men, I think it's time I address this bullshit. Hazy, whatever this guy's name is, decided that girls that go to Afro Nation and Carnival are not wifey material. Firstly, stop trying to control women. We're not communal property. We're not owned by Tira Abba or Tiri Amma. You're not entitled to us because we share the same skin color, and you don't get to decide who is wifey material and who is not. This whole notion of we won't wife you is not the threat you think it is. Baby boy, who told you you are the prize? Then this clown talks about, and then when you're 35, you guys guys double back and you come back and you want to be with men like us. No, darling. Come back to who? It's normally dissy boys who go out and date whoever they want and then come back in their 30s because they want a nice, respectful dissy girl to marry. Since we're here talking about Asian loyalty, can we talk about the double standards that come with that? Asian men will sit up on the internet and tell you, I like white girls, I like Latinas. That's absolutely okay. That's your preference. You guys are allowed preferences, but we're not allowed preferences. Make it make sense. You don't get to reject us while also reserve us for yourself. Why is it blackness that triggers you? You are racist. There's this negative stereotype already out there about black men being hypersexual. These stereotypes are not facts, but see how in the comments, in what you're saying, it becomes the topic of discussion all the time. Guess what? Eventually the conversation leads you to the black man's penis. It's weird. You saw a girl go to carnival and you imagined a sexual encounter in your head. Now you're mad at the girl because of what's going on in your head. Like, get your head out of the gutter. This one is to Hazy Hazy. For someone who talks so much about South Asian women spending time in black spaces and being with black men, you seem really comfortable engaging in black culture when it's on your scalp. You had braids at one point, right? So let me understand this. If I listen to dancehall, Afro beats, I'm unwifeable. But you sitting there getting braids done to cosplay as a lighty is what now? It's given you're a hater for real. And honestly, this topic is tired. This topic is boring. If you are triggered, it says a lot about you than anybody else. Anyway, stay miserable.
I don't have any plans to talk about the Vivek Ramaswamy thing, but I'm bringing it up now because of something else, actually. So recently there was a release of young Republican text messages that were quite racist. And so I was watching a panel where they were talking about it, and the person defending the young Republicans was a brown dude, which is the reason for this video. I need my South Asian people to realize something. You can assimilate as much as you want. You can make a crap ton of money. You can agree with all of their talking points. You can jump through every hoop. But you really need to understand that to a certain portion of white America, you will never be acceptable simply because of your skin color. It is what it is. Now, why should you listen to anything I have to say? Because I'm token brown boy, right? So you know those social media posts where you see a whole bunch of white people and then there's that goofy-ass brown guy? Yeah, I'm the goofy-ass brown guy. I'm basically a coconut. And if you don't know what a coconut is, ask your South Asian friends. It's worth a laugh. So being in this spaces, I have 3 things that I'd like to share with you. Number 1, I still believe a majority of white people are not racist. What I've had to change up is I've had to calibrate my percentages. I used to think only about 10 to 15% were racist. I think that number is higher because I think there's a bunch of covert racism that exists, which leads me to point number 2. A lot of times you're not going to see it. The racism will be internal, right? They will be civil with you because a lot of times we interact with white America in professional settings, right? So you can't do it there. But they'll be civil with you, but I promise you they're probably not going to invite you to their house, you know? Which leads me to number 3, which is literally the most confusing one. Sometimes you can be the exception to the rule. Now this one's a weird one. So sometimes you're accepted by a person who is otherwise racist. So you would assume at that point that, well, if you think I'm okay, you should have a different view of others that look like me. Not really. For whatever reason, you're okay and everybody else is not. This is the reality. Like, please don't be a Vivek Ramaswamy. Please don't be a Nikki Haley. Please don't be a Bobby Jindal back in the day. Understand the reality of the situation. Okay, because of your skin color, you will never be accepted by a certain portion of white America. It is what it is. Like, we just have to accept that, right? Anyway, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Have a good one.
So guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about the videos you just played, Julia. You know, it's quite interesting because just the other day, I feel like a very recent episode we did, we were also doing about Indian culture, yeah, and how racist they are towards black people.
Last month.
it was the beginning of this month. So if you scroll down, you can still find it here. And in that video, they got to explain the caste system in India and why they're very racist towards black people, because even they themselves do not accept the dark people in their community.
Right. As a matter of fact, the caste system, how it's placed, the dark Indians are at the very bottom of that caste system. But Afro-Indians
are
nowhere in that caste system, meaning they're completely out of the Indian community. It doesn't matter whether or not they are Afro-Indians.
Right. And so in today's episode, as I was saying, right, for a father to rather the daughter to be a lesbian rather than the daughter marrying a black person, for him, marrying a black man would be of a greater shame compared to them being lesbians. Why am I emphasizing
I really don't get that logic, but
right. So why am I emphasizing in this? This is because it is still considered a taboo when someone dates somebody of the same sex in many cultures, right? I won't lie, even here in Africa, there's a lot of African countries that consider that a taboo. So a lot of the times, if you find someone is living that kind of lifestyle, either they're doing it in the very down low, or it's the people
in the
who
more
have to
metropolitan parts of Africa.
But even at that, it's very hard for them. They're still castigated. And like how you see a lot of videos in America, content creators who come out and freely talk about being gay. But in Africa, a lot of the people do not really
talk about it.
Exactly. And that is because it's considered a taboo in a lot of cultures. I don't know if a lot of you are aware of a country called Uganda, where
it's even illegal. If you're found practicing that lifestyle, you are imprisoned. No joke, you are imprisoned. And the president of Uganda said the reason why they will imprison you is because they want to see if you'll get pregnant with the same sex. And they say if you manage to get pregnant in prison is when they let you out. I don't know how true that is. So if there's any Ugandans in the comment section, you can also let us know about that.
That is what happened, because it has been illegalized to a point where you cannot come out and openly say or talk about being gay. In our country where we live in Kenya, there's no
law that legalizes the practice, but also it isn't supported.
Yeah, but if you come to places like Nairobi, a metropolitan where it's more of open-minded people living here, you could live your own lifestyle, but it's also not safe. I wouldn't say it's safe for people to come out and advertise,
Right, so, and that is the reason why I was saying it shocked me when one of our speakers said their father would rather the daughter be lesbian than date a black man.
Right, because you can imagine if Africa is like that. Now picture India, where they're so immersed still in their
religion.
Traditions. Yeah, they're so immersed in their traditions and religion to a point where they still wear their traditional outfits, the saris, right? And so can you imagine if, I know he was just making a statement, right? But can you imagine if the daughter actually went that route?
Girl. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about this episode down on the comment section, because everybody is allowed to love whoever they want, but once you realize that your daughter is in love with a certain person from a certain group that you don't like, at the end of the day, it's not your life, it's your daughter's life. And if the guy treats them well, why the hell would you be interfering with their lives? Because it is the very same India where you'll find these families practicing honor unaliving. They unalive you because of the family honor.
Yeah, and honestly, me personally, if I had a daughter, what I would care about is are they happy in their relationship? Did she choose right?
And is she being treated well?
Right, because you picture this. What happens when, I don't know, I'm just imagining, I don't know if it's factual, but I'm imagining if these ladies are going through this, and then you find an Indian man who actually marries a black woman, or someone who the parents would not approve of. Does it mean that there's a lot of illegitimate kids out there who do not get acknowledged knowledge because they're forbidden from marrying people who are different from them, and so they leave these kids to go and marry the people that the parents approve of. I don't know, is that the case? I would like to know. Right,
So guys, let us know what you think about this episode down on the comment section.
Right. Also, I want to ask another question, not even to ask another question, but to make a statement. I'm quite happy that a lot of these people are going against their parents to, to live out their own wishes. And it's quite sad that your daughter is grown and they're at an age where they want to now start building their families, and they come to you for advice and you advise them against everything they're sure they're going to do right, and you start making them second guess and doubt their decision. I feel like it gets to a point where, honestly, as a woman, as a man, you're gonna one day lead your family, and for you to be able to have that confidence in making decisions, it means you have to start early. That means your parents need to have some type of faith on you to allow you make mistakes or make some right decisions in order for you to one day live a capable lifestyle and also lead your home in the right direction. But if your parents are the ones who want to make decisions believing that everything they themselves set up for you is the right one, so whatever you're going out to look for yourself is not the correct one, then it means what happens to you if they are no longer in the picture. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about this episode on the comment section. Also consider subscribing if it's your first time here, and we'll catch you on our next episode. Thank you so much for always tuning in.